people, just thought I'll do a video on the 7 things I couldn't live without in law school. So here goes. The first thing I couldn't live without was definitely my laptop, right here. I used a MacBook Air, and actually I bought it with my scholarship money. So my scholarship gave me an allowance of, I think, if I'm not wrong, it was about 1.7 to 1.8k. And I bought it from the school vendor when it came. And I'm still using it now. So this MacBook Air is about 8 to 10 years old, and it still works fine. I'm a big fan of Apple products, and my MacBook Air has really served me quite well. The weight is really good, it's pretty light to carry around. And also when I bought it from the school vendor, they basically installed the Windows systems for me, so it was quite convenient. I could use Microsoft Word and everything in my MacBook Air. The second thing I couldn't live without was my scheduler. So I had this scheduler here. Essentially my scheduler is like this. It has all the dates and the month. Like this, it has all the dates and the month. And the scheduler was super important to me because I didn't want to miss any of my deadlines, and sometimes I use it as like a to-do list as well. Like for instance, on 23rd April, I wrote down a list of things that I had to do, from forecasting to inventory management. Don't know what I was doing, I can't exactly remember all these things anymore. But they really help to keep track of my deadlines and make my plans. And this is also the reason why I have never forgotten about a plan that I made with a friend, or basically any agreement to meet someone on a certain date or a certain day just doesn't fall past me. And honestly, I think I would feel so lost without my scheduler. I wouldn't remember when are things due or when I'm supposed to go where. So yeah, I think the key to efficiency and productivity was also in my scheduler. And I used to even take notes from my Christian fellowship PG sessions here. I still have that Romans 12. How interesting. This is really a trip down memory lane. I might actually even read what I used to write in the past. That's my scheduler. And the third thing I couldn't live without was my sweater. Okay, I used to have a purple one, but then I kind of like outgrew it. And I bought this one from H&M when I was on exchange. And it's so thick and comfy, it's like a knitted sweater. And the sweater is so important in school because everywhere is so cold in SMU. The seminar rooms are so cold, the classroom is so cold, the library is so cold, everywhere is so cold. So I don't see how anyone can study for so many hours without feeling cold if you don't have a sweater. So I would suggest that you bring a sweater on day 1 because you are going to be staying in the library for hours on end and you're not going to be moving much. Your body is likely to get cold really fast. So that's the third thing that I couldn't live without in SMU. The fourth thing I couldn't live without was my water bottle. Okay, I didn't used to have this bottle. This is a hydro flask. I just bought it recently. But when I was in SMU, I always had a 1.5 liters bottle with me everywhere I go because hydration is so important. Your brain just cannot function without enough water. It's just a waste of time trying to travel to and fro the water cooler. And the water coolers in the library are pretty disgusting. I don't know if you have realized, or I don't know whether they have upgraded it, but the law library's water cooler is pretty good. But the one at the Lee Ka-shing library, it's quite gross and it's usually leaking and it's always right beside the toilet. And surprise, surprise, usually during exam periods, there's even a long queue just to fill up water. So it's good to bring a huge bottle that can store all your water and save you some time from having to walk to and fro the water cooler. Next thing on the list was my name tag. Okay, this name tag kind of gives it away, but essentially, on the flip side of this name tag is my name. This is the thing that I put in front of me. So my laptop will be here in class, and the table will be here, and there'll be a slot where you can put your name tag up, so that your name displays here. And the prof will be able to know your name because of this name tag. So this is the key to allowing the prof to remember you by name, give you class participation marks, but at the same time, you also face a higher risk of being cold called in class because your name is so accessible. Usually people put their name tags up. I would say 99% of students do that. Because if you don't, then you're just going to stand out like a sore thumb and maybe get called even more, I'm not sure. The next 2 things are a little bit more intangible. The 6th thing that I need to have is Telegram. Telegram is like a WhatsApp, only more convenient because you can use it both on your computer and in your phone. But unlike WhatsApp, you don't have to scan the QR code or log in every time you use it on your computer. Essentially, there is a Telegram app on your computer, so you just have to open the app and everything works. And the best part about Telegram is that you can actually send folders across, so you can send Word documents, PowerPoint, whatever to your group members. And we usually function on Telegram. Essentially, we have group chat, and for our group projects, we will just simply send documents across Telegram instead of email. It's way faster, way more convenient. For a period of time, I even had this like obsession with spending my time well on the train, so I would actually check pieces of work while I was traveling. Not saying that you have to, but yeah, in case you just need to refer to something, then Telegram's the way to go. And one particular function I find very useful in Telegram is they have these saved messages where you can send messages to yourself. I don't think you can do it on WhatsApp because I tried it before and it just didn't work. Like, I couldn't send a message to myself on WhatsApp, but on Telegram you can send a lot of messages to yourself. So for things that you want to keep in mind, or essentially you want it to be there so that you can refer to all the time, documents, notes, note to self, all these kind of things, you can just send a message to yourself. So that's something that I use quite often on Telegram. And finally, the last thing that I couldn't live without was purpose. I think I did a video before on how I almost wanted to quit law school at some point. And I think what refreshes me every single day, especially when the times are really tough and when it's really stressful, is purpose. And purpose may not have to be directly relevant to law per se. It could be a purpose in perhaps loving others better, or spreading the gospel to my fellow classmates, coursemates, groupmates, or just being the salt and light of the world. So yeah, I think that about sums up the 7 things that I couldn't live without when I was in law school.